Hi guys. Good morning everyone. I hope my screen is visible to all. Okay. So I really apologize for all this delay, and I am really appreciate that you all were patient, you all were having this enough patience to wait in this comment session. Okay, so without further delay, guys, let me introduce myself. My name is Rishi Kumar, and I am the Python trainer over here, and I'll be conducting your live sessions. Fine. So we will start with the very first day of Python. And before starting the course or before starting anything, I would just like to ask you. Uh, okay, guys. So before starting the session, I think as many data I have seen based on your registration, majority of the students are from BTech or MCA, BCA. So I think majority of you are having some idea of programming. Like at least if you are BTech, I think then all of you might have introduced to C programming language in the very first year. And if even you are from BCA and MC, of course, that is Masters in Computer Application or Bachelor's of Computer Application, you must have gone through some programming language. So I won't assume this, don't worry. I won't assume that you are having some or the other basic knowledge of programming. I was just telling because I have seen there is a mixture. Like people have also registered who are from non-technical backgrounds, who are not from this computer science background or anywhere related to that. So I would start from the scratch. As I promised, I would start the course from the scratch with this assumption that you know nothing. You know nothing related to programming. With this assumption, I will start the course. Okay, so you don't need to worry about that. Fine. So if you want me to start with Python, first of all, you should understand that whatever technology or whatever new demand, if you want to learn, okay, then first of all you should come to know that why exactly you are looking for that. Like what is the need for this new technology which you are going to learn. Like in case if I'm projecting Java, if I'm projecting Python for you, you should be having a clear picture that first of all why I should choose Python. Fine. So if you ask me that, okay, sir, you have to explain this, why I have to choose Python. I'll explain you why you should choose Python. So for this, what I'll do, I'll refer some websites, okay, some renowned websites I will refer, and I will just try to show you that what all websites reports are claiming about Python. Where is this Python standing in the current market and what is its future scope? How much demand is going to be there for Python programming language? Fine. So the very first website which I'll be referring to, this is the website named as TIOBE. Actually, it is the website to check the ranking of programming languages. See, in every month, they used to generate a TIOB index. Like this is October right now. So this is the TIOB index for 2020. And this is the rank list of programming languages in the month of October 2020 as per TIOBE. Now, over here, if you will see the very first one, at the very first rank, you are having C programming language. At the second, you are having Java programming language. And at the third, you are having Python. Fourth, C++, and so on. There are n number of programming languages. I will just focus on top three. Okay, C, Java, and Python. I'll just focus on top three. Now, you may think like, sir is showing us something that this programming language is at currently rank third. Then why should I choose Python? Why not Java or C? I will answer for this, that why Python, why not Java or C, which is on better ranking. I'll tell you. On the same website, which is having this ranking list, on the same website, the report you just read, what it is telling you, it is clearly telling you Python conquered the third position in the TIOB index last year, but its popularity is still rising. It is just telling you that its popularity is still rising and on and on. Next line is even more impressive. Just read it. This month, it has reached a new all-time high at 11.28%. That means Python is at its all-time high rating. And if you will compare with Java, read about Java. Excuse me. Since Java is approaching its all-time low since 2001, and that's what it is claiming, Python and Java are getting pretty close. Now, you still may be thinking, sir, but still Java is above now. I will show you. See, over here in the last column, you see, you are having changes. Changes means what is the amount or what is the percent of changes or growth? Okay, what is the growth changes any programming language is facing? So in the month of October, C programming language faced just 0.77 growth, positive growth. But if you will look at Java, there's a huge drop in demand of Java. Can you see that? But now you look at Python, it's 2.19%. You may be thinking like, sir, it's just 2.19% and you are just shouting 2.19%. Just see why I'm shouting 2.19%. If you will just compare it with respect to others, the growth is too small. All of them are less than 1% growth. All of them are having less than 1% growth. But if you will see Python, it's having huge growth, more than 2%. That's a huge growth. And that's what I'm telling you, that in the current market, you check any website, you will always get that Python is among the top programming languages which is currently in use. And any website report, if you will check that, okay, which language is having more demand in the future, you will always read Python within the top three, either at first, second, or third, because that is what it is claiming. Because of the buzzwords, like you might have heard the buzzwords, artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science, all these buzzwords are responsible for the growth of Python. See, that's what I'm telling you. If you want to know about any programming language, if you really want to learn, first of all, you should check whether that programming language is currently in demand in market, whether it is having future in the market. And that's what I'm just showing you over here. It is having a huge demand in the current market, and as well as it is having a huge future growth. I'll show you more reports. Okay. Okay. So have you heard this website name? Anyone of you have heard this website name, TIOB? If anyone of you have heard of this website name, TIOB? Not exactly. Okay. Let me talk about another website, HackerRank. I hope some of you who are working as a computer science graduates, or who are just a student of computer science also. This is world-renowned websites. Okay, whichever I'm referring, TIOB, HackerRank. This is not a local website which you will refer only in India. These are world-renowned websites. Even this HackerRank, if you will check over here, this HackerRank is also having a report regarding the growth of Python. Okay, so what is that report? See, this is only the title of report. Python is the one. And what it is claiming, why Python is the one it is claiming. If you ask me why it is claiming Python is the one, see, over here, they are just displaying a stats in the form of a graph. So actually, basically, it's a chart itself. So what is that? It is just trying to show you that which programming language is more popular among all the age groups. Okay, like 18 to 24 or 25 to 34 or 35 to 44 and so on. So if you will see, it is clearly showing that Python is having a huge demand, is having the most in demand programming language across all ages. So these websites, world-renowned websites like HackerRank, like Stack Overflow, like TIOB, these websites, if you ask me, sir, how they are generating report, how they are claiming that this is having this much growth, I will tell you how. See, HackerRank is a website where you will just start coding. You will start coding you will get code snippets. Based on that, you will solve it in less possible number of lines. Stack Overflow, which is the next website I'm referring again and again. Stack Overflow is also having such a report. The report claims like the incredible growth of Python over here also. If you will just see, it will also show you. See, in the form of a graph, it is just showing you that, see, this red line which is just highlighted over here, this is representing the growth of Python in comparison of other languages you see, with comparison of JavaScript, Java, C#, PHP, all these languages, C++, and across the years you see. As the years have been passed, the demand of Python is increasing day by day, day by day. And that's what I'm trying to show you, that all the world renowned websites, whichever you will refer, and if you will search with respect to Python in comparison of other languages, it will clearly show you that Python is having a huge growth and demand. Okay, what I'll do, I'll come back to the same question, that if you will ask me, sir, how do you think that these websites, whichever data they are claiming, is a true fact? If you ask me this question, then answer is very simple. How they are claiming? Because see, like if I take an example of Stack Overflow only, Stack Overflow you will refer only when you will start programming any programming language, C, Java, C++, Python, any programming language. Because whenever you will start programming as a programmer, or even as a general purpose programmer, like a student also, if you will start programming, for 100% sure, some or the other way you will get some errors, or you will have some exceptions. Fine. Then whatever error or exception you are getting, you just copy that message, paste it on Google, and one of the websites which will be referred by Google will be Stack Overflow. That means this website is used by the programmers of this programming world, like where we are having developers, where we are having general purpose programmers, freelancers, all those people who are practicing with some or the other programming language. Whenever they are having any doubts, whenever they are getting any errors, or whenever they are not seeking, like, okay, what should be the code for this particular block, they used to go on Google and they used to refer websites like Stack Overflow. And based on their searches, based on that, how many people have searched for Python, based on that, how many people have searched for Java, C hash or C++, based on all such reports, it has generated this graph. That's what I'm telling you. These websites used to collect those data, and then they used to generate their report that which programming language is having huge demand in the market. So I hope you got the picture, that how these websites are claiming these stats, that okay, Python is having so many growth and such growth over here. Okay, this is all about, if you ask me, this is all about how I can prove you that yeah, there is a demand of this programming language in the market, as well as there is a growth of this programming language in market. This is just to show you why you should choose Python. Fine. Now if you will ask me, okay sir, we understood that you are claiming something, that okay, the world renowned website like HackerRank, Stack Overflow, or some TIOB, they are referring that Python is having a huge growth. They are also referring that Python is in demand currently as well. Then sir, you tell me that if I am going to learn any new technology, basically I am learning for what? I am learning a new technology to get a job only. That's what should be the question in your mind. Okay, I'll tell you, if that is the question in your mind, I will tell you the very simple thing, that what is the opportunity you are going to get if you will learn Python. I'll tell you very simple thing. See, Python is in two parts, that is core Python and advanced Python. Fine. So if you will learn core Python as well as advanced Python, then you can become a general purpose programmer. A general purpose programmer. What is a general purpose programmer? See, there are n number of softwares, there are n number of editors, where in a programming world, you will be asked that you have to write a program to achieve such and such task. But you will have this liberty that whichever programming language you want to use, you can use that language. So at that time, if Python is having the clear-cut concept in your mind, so instead of going for any other programming language which you have studied in your past, you will refer Python. That is for 100% sure, which I am telling you. So if you will just learn core Python and advanced Python, you can become a general purpose programmer. But to be frank, this is this is for those who are already working professional. They are having some experience, and then if they are switching to one programming language to another, that is feasible. But if you really want to get some job, if you really want to create more and more number of opportunities for you, then what you should go for? You should go for core Python plus advanced Python. That means the complete Python part, as well as for a framework. Fine. What is a framework, if you ask me? Framework, you will get a very simple idea. if you want to develop any web applications, you definitely need some framework. Okay. For Python also, using the Python programming language also, you can have different frameworks. The most common and the most popular one is Django. So over here in our course, we have included Django framework. If you learn complete Python with Django, then what you are going to become, you can become a web application developer. This is the job opportunity for a fresher you will get, and this will be having the maximum number of job opportunity for Python. If I have to talk about Python development, if you become a Django framework developer, this will create the maximum opportunity for you, that is for sure. But again, that is not the only option with you. You are having n number of options. If you ask me, sir, what n numbers of option? One of the option I told you that if you just learn complete Python, you can become a general purpose programmer. But what if you learn core Python, advanced Python, as well as Django? Then what you will become? You can become a web application developer. Okay, what else, sir? What else I can become? If you learn complete Python as well as some testing tool like Selenium, if you will learn this much, then what you can become is a software automation test engineer. What you can become is software automation test engineer. Fine. So these are the job opportunities for a fresher. I'm talking with respect to a fresher that these are the job opportunities you can get very easily. Now, this is also required that, okay, you should have something Python with you, and then you can learn Selenium and you can have it. What else, sir? What else opportunity can I get as a fresher? What else I'll tell you? What if you learn the complete Python and the machine learning part? If you will learn the complete Python as well as the machine learning part, then what you can become? You can become ML engineer. Then you can become ML engineer, the machine learning engineer. Being a fresher, okay, I'll tell this straightforward. Being a fresher, in comparison of becoming a Django web developer, becoming a ML engineer is a bit tough. That is also a fact. Is a bit tough because for this you need more dedication. Fine, because this is having more concepts when you will compare with the course, the complete Python and Django part. This is having more content. So you need more commitment and you need more dedication for this one to become an ML engineer. Fine. What else you can become if you want to learn with if you learn with Python? So okay, you can become a data scientist. If you will learn the Python part and the data science, you can become a data scientist. Fine. So data scientist is also one of the job which is created for the freshers. But again, it is same like machine learning. Over here also in data science also, the content is more and it is more in deep. So if you want to become a data scientist, you should have more dedication towards the course. As simple as that. I won't sugarcoat my words that no, it is very easy. Anyone can become data scientist in just 45 days, 60 days. Or you will see advertisements on YouTube or anywhere, like within 30 days, become a data scientist. Believe me, if anyone is claiming within 30 days you can become data scientist, he or she is making just fool of you, nothing else. It is not an easy task that within 30 days you will become a data scientist. Even if you know the complete Python, at least 2 months of regular data science class is required for you to become data scientist. That's what I'm telling you. Even if you want to become a data scientist, that's what. In comparison of Django framework course, this is more in deep, more in depth. Okay. And you need more dedication if you want to become this. So these are the job opportunities you can get if you want to be a Python programmer in this programming world. Now, if you ask me, sir, that's it. Python creates only such and such job opportunities. See, using Python, you can also become a game developer. Okay, Python is having that part also, but that is not at all for freshers. That is some advanced part, because for developing games, you are having some more modules. But first of all, of course, you should have the clear concept of Python. That means the complete Python, core Python as well as the advanced Python. If you will have the complete picture in your mind, definitely you can go for becoming a game developer also. Fine. So these are the opportunities which you should be in, which should be in your mind, that okay, if I learn Python, it is in demand, it is having future scope, and what all job opportunities I can get. Again, if you ask me, sir, how can I believe that there are Django, for Django framework there are more and more number of job opportunities? I will suggest you a very straightforward thing, which will satisfy you in the one word. Go and search on Naukri.com, Indeed, any job website you go. Okay, job seeking websites you go, and just search on that Django developer as a fresher. You search for the job role Django developer. Fine, and you see how many openings are there. There will be n number of openings, and basic package will start from somewhere around 18 to 20,000. Okay, basic package. That means if you will learn simple basic of Django also, you can even start with a 18 to 20,000 salary per month. And if you are really good at it, believe me, if you are really good at it, on the same website, job seeking websites, you can see they will offer you 30 to 40,000 being a fresher. If you will be really good at it, 30 to 40,000 you will get as a fresher. So if you really want to grab this opportunity, I will suggest you guys go for complete Python with Django. But again, if you feel like, no, sir, I am dedicated and I want to be ML engineer or artificial intelligence engineer or data scientist, then definitely these courses are for you if you want to go for ML, data science, or artificial intelligence. For right now, if you ask me that, okay, sir, with simple words, if you have to suggest, I am suggesting you the very first course. Fine. Okay. Now, if I have to suggest that what all things with respect to Python we will be discussing, or what all things you should be practicing in your class, then we will start with the scratch. Okay, we will start with the scratch. And as I had told, that first of all, I will be telling you why you should learn this new technology. I have told you the clear picture why you should learn. Now, if you really believe that, okay, sir, whatever you told, somewhat I believe that, okay, there is so and so demand, there is so and so job opportunities, you start with the course. We will see. You start with the course, we will see. Okay, so I'll start with the course. Now, if you want to learn this Python programming language or anything, if you want to learn, what you should do is you should always start learning that from the scratch. That means from the roots of it, how Python came into existence. First of all, you should know that. So I will start the course, and the very first part is history of Python. So what is the history of Python? How Python came into existence? That's what I will be showing you, how Python came into existence. So there is a very short story for this, that how Python came into existence. I will start the story, and the story starts from somewhere in the era of 1980s. Okay, in the era of 1980s, late 1980s. So in this era of 1980s, our story began. Okay, and there will be one hero of our story. And in this 1980s, we are talking about this 1980s of Netherlands. Okay, this Netherlands is one of the European countries. And in this Netherlands, there was one institute. Its name was CWI. There was one institute. Its name was CWI. So CWI Institute was a research institute, and in this research institute, our hero was also one of the employees. So he was also working over there, and he's only our hero. What is his name? His name is Guido van Rossum. Fine. He is the hero of our story, Guido van Rossum. And this Guido van Rossum was working as a scientist over there, research scientist over there, as a programmer developer. So Guido van Rossum was working on one of the project for CWI. That project was to develop general purpose tools for Amoeba operating system. Okay, so Amoeba operating system is just a name, like they were having, which CWI Institute have developed for their own personal use. Like you are having Windows, Macintosh, Linux, Ubuntu, such like there was one Amoeba operating system which CWI Institute was using for their personal reference. That means for their institutional reference only. So for this operating system, our hero Guido van Rossum was supposed to develop some general purpose tools. Now, if you ask me, what does this mean? What is general purpose tools, sir? See, whenever you will have this Windows, every window will have some pre-installed applications like Notepad. Every window will have calculator. Every window will have. Those are only referred as general purpose tools. In simple, what I have told you. Fine. So such general purpose tools, Guido van Rossum was supposed to develop for Amoeba operating system. So when he started working on those projects, so for that, if you want to develop any software, definitely you need some programming language for that. So even Guido van Rossum was using some programming language. And if you ask me which was that programming language which he was using then their famous language, that is C programming language. And this gentleman, which is on the left of your screen, this gentleman is only the developer of C programming language. And if you have already introduced to C programming language, I think you know his name also. His name is Dennis Ritchie. Dennis Ritchie is the developer of C programming language, and our hero Guido van Rossum was using his C programming language to develop the general purpose tool for Amoeba operating system. So when he was trying to develop the general purpose tool, what Guido van Rossum felt like, the same problem, like what problem you felt now, same problem even Guido van Rossum was feeling. That C programming language, the syntax was so tough, was so irrelatable with respect to a general English, that sometimes he can't relate. Okay, what is this header file? What is this? What is that? Because if you remember, if any one of you have practiced C programming language, you will remember one sentence throughout your lifetime. What is that? Hash include stdio.h. Throughout a lifetime, you will remember this statement. So even we don't know exactly what is this hash include stdio.h. We are simply just mugging it up. Okay, I will remember the first line. Compulsory that should be there. Even some of us were doing like what? We were remembering 2-3 lines. Hash include stdio.h. Hash include math.h, conio.h, and so many things. Without even knowing that whether that header files are required in this program or not, we were implementing all that. Hash include math.h, conio.h, all those things. So that's what even Guido van Rossum felt the same like you. And I think this was your reaction when you got introduced to C. Same was the reaction of Guido van Rossum when he was introduced to C, that why is C so hard? That's what even his reaction was. So what he thought, like, why we are struggling with some programming language which is so difficult syntax. So on the very next project, he got a chance to develop a new programming language for CWI. And the name of that programming language was ABC. Now you may think like, sir, I have never heard of this programming language named ABC. You are making some word. I will tell you straightforward, as I have mentioned, this programming language ABC, he was developing with the team only and only for CWI. And this programming language, because of some reasons, this didn't got any success. There were some bugs. So even they didn't use it for longer period. I hope you got the point. So ABC programming language was the next project on which Guido van Rossum was working. And as he was working on that, he got an idea that, okay, how to build a program from scratch. I got an idea how to build a program from scratch. And then when he got the idea that how to build a program from scratch, in the next winters, I mean in the coming winters, when he got the chance, when he got the holidays, because see, in Netherlands, when I told you about Netherlands is in some European continent. So Netherlands and European continent, all the countries, in winters, the winter is too harsh over there. And of course, they are having festivals also like Christmas and New Year. And winter is so harsh over there, like there is all of that place is covered with snow, streets, colleges, institutes, everything is covered with snow on this open. So they used to have huge holidays, 2 weeks holidays or 3 week holidays like this. They used to get holidays, winter vacation they used to get. So in the winter vacation, when everyone else was enjoying the festive season, like his colleagues and all were enjoying the festive season, what Guido van Rossum decided? Guido van Rossum decided that, okay, I won't enjoy this season, but rather than that, I will sit in my garage and I will start working to develop a new programming language. And then he started working to develop a new programming language. And just within the span of few weeks, he developed a prototype of it. Okay, it was not the complete program, but a prototype of it he has developed. Once he was done with his work, so what he thought like, okay, I think this is the right time. I should show this programming language to my colleagues. That was just the prototype, but he thought like, okay, I should project this to my colleagues and I will take suggestions for them that what else I should implement in that. And I should ask help also that, okay, if they can help me to develop this programming language. So Guido van Rossum just gave a small presentation of his programming language to his colleagues in CWI, and his colleagues were so much stunned with just all the syntax they were just observing over there. They were like, oh my God, the syntax is too much easier, way more easier with comparison to C and C++, which we are using currently. So what the colleagues suggested Guido van Rossum that instead of working for ABC programming language, we should start working on your programming language. And Guido van Rossum, along with the team of CWI, started working on this new programming language to make it a complete programming language. And then within a span of few months or a year, you can say, they have developed the language completely. And once the language got developed completely, they now gave this opportunity to our hero Guido van Rossum that, okay, sir, now the programming language has been developed properly and completely. You suggest us some name that, okay, this should be the name of our programming language. So one fine day when Guido van Rossum came back from his office, he was sitting with his family and he was watching his favorite TV series. Okay, so his favorite TV series was telecasted on this BBC channel, and there he was watching his favorite TV series. And the moment he saw the poster of that TV series, he got the word that what is the name or what should be the name of his programming language. And the name of the TV series was Monty Python's Flying Circus. And I should just not mention this. I think it's obvious for you also that the word Python struck him, and he decided at the very moment that, okay, this is it. I will name my programming language as Python. So this is how he came with the name Python. And then they decided that, okay, finally we should officially release this programming language into the market as an open source. Okay, so once they have decided that, okay, we will release this Python programming language and the name is Python itself, whenever anyone was thinking about this Python, they were relating it with the snake. They were thinking like, okay, Guido van Rossum might be having some pet Python, so he has named Python only. Rumors started spreading in the market. Although you know the story, it was not at all related with the Python, I mean the snake Python. It was just related with the name Monty Python's Flying Circus. So Guido van Rossum got frustrated. He decided that anyways, everyone is relating this programming language name with the snake Python. We will give the logo of Python by using two Python snakes. And this is how you got the logo. You can see over here, there is a blue Python and then there is a yellow Python. So this is how the logo came into the existence. This is what the logo of Python looks like. And this is how Python came into existence. Finally, in the year of 1992, Python has been released officially. So this was the story of Python, I mean history of Python basically. Now you know how Python came into existence, who has developed Python, and what is the story that how Python got its name, how the logo has been decided and all. Now I will start with Python, but before that, all this time I was claiming that Python is so much easier. I think I have claimed that Python is so much easier to learn with respect to C, Java and C++. So what I will do is I will show you the comparison, a small comparison I will show you with all the top 3 programming languages, C, Java and Python. Then you only sit and decide whether C language is easier or Java is easier or Python is the easiest. You decide over there. Fine. But I can claim over here itself, before comparison only I can claim that once I will show you the comparison, this would be your reaction. So this would be your reaction, guys. That is, I can claim over here before even showing you the comparison. Now I will move towards the comparison part. I'll show you the small comparison of all the programming languages. For this, I need my editor over here. So I'll use one editor. What I'll do is I will print a very simple program. Okay, I will print a very simple program, and that very simple program means, okay, if you have heard of any programming language, you would have always started with the very simple one. What was the very simple one? I think that was Hello World. I think you have started with Hello World. Don't you agree that is the simplest program for any programming language, just to print Hello World on the output console? So this is how you can achieve this task by using C programming language. If you want to print Hello World, you have to mention something like a header file hash include stdio.h. Then you have to mention a main block. You should open the block. Then you should give the command to print. What is the command to print in C? That is something like printf. Okay. And then within the double quotes, you should mention it like this. And then you should end a statement. How to end a statement? You should give the semicolon. Over here also you should return, just because you have mentioned over here int main. If it was be void main, then you should not return it also. Okay, I am not here to teach C programming language. I won't get into that. You should just see the syntax. Okay, this is how you will achieve with respect to C programming language. Same thing if I have to show with respect to Java also, I'll show you with respect to Java. The same task if you want to achieve with respect to Java, that is if you want to print hello world on the output screen with respect to Java, then how you can do that. For this also, what you need to do, you need to just give a class. First, you need to have a class, then you have to give the class name. Within this, you should have some void main. Then within this, the command to print is like system.out.println, or you can say system.out.print. Then you should give the message within the double quotes. And at last over here also, compulsorily you should give semicolon. Now, I will discuss this straightforward. I think whomsoever has started learning the programming language, I think they must have started from C or Java only. Okay. So if they have started learning from C or Java, you know the very first error, what you have faced long back was missing semicolon. Like if one semicolon will be missing, you won't get the output. That means after every statement, you have to put semicolon compulsorily in Java as well as in C. Now, what I'll do, I'll just try to show you that how to execute this in a simple way. First, what you need to do, you need to compile it. If this is a Java program, you need to compile it. Okay, I've compiled the programming language. It will, if there is no error in this programming language, it will just ask me, okay, press any key to continue. Okay, like this, it will ask me just because there is no error in programming. I'll press the continue. Now I'll try to run it. I have to just press over here, run. Okay, I'm getting the message, hello world. Fine. Now, when you have seen with respect to C and Java, how to print hello world, you should do all this circus. You should define the class name, void main, println, semicolon, all this blocks, you should define by using this open braces and closing braces, like you may call it curly braces. So by opening the braces and closing the braces, you should define the block of code. Similar like this in C also, you are having all such syntax. Now I will show you the syntax with respect to Python. I'll show you the syntax with respect to Python, and you only see and just tell me whether you feel like Python is easier in comparison to C or Java, whether it is true or false. Okay. So for this, what I'll do, I'll make use of a software or editor. Basically, this is the IDE to execute Python programs. I'll teach you how to download this also. So if I'm going to make use of this IDE, its name is IDLE, which is just to execute Python programs. I'll be just, I think I've opened it properly. Yeah, fine. I got this. I'll just press control. See, whenever you will open IDLE, you will get something like this. This is a shell window, which is in interactive mode. I'll come to this part. For right now, I'll just take a new file. I'll just press Control N. I got a new file. Fine. Now, just observe it over here, how to execute the same message with respect to Python. How much easier it is to do so. What you need to do, you need to say the command, which is to print the statements in Python. To print any statement in Python, the command is print function. Within this print function, you just give the message as hello world. Now, Now, what if I tell you this is it? You don't need anything else to get the message hello world on the output screen. This is it. This is the complete program to print hello world. I'll show you. I'll just save. I'll just try to save it. It will ask me some name. So I'm just giving it like Python one. Like this, I'll save it. And then what I'll do, I'll just execute. So I've just pressed F5 to execute. You're getting the message hello world. So over here, you can clearly see how much easier it is to execute the same message hello world with respect to Python. You don't need any class, you don't need any main block, you don't need any syntax like within the blocks you have to define like that. You don't need any semicolon at the end, nothing like that. Okay, just simply save and execute. You don't have to take tension of missing semicolon, missing parenthesis, missing braces, nothing that you should be worried of. It is straightforward. I know some of you might be thinking like, oh, sir is playing some trick. He's just showing a small program to us and he's saying like, believe me that it is shorter. Okay. So for those people, what I'll do, I'll just show you one more program with respect to Java. And with respect to C, it will be of course almost same. And then we will see with respect to Python that how much easier it is. That will be a bit better program in comparison to Hello World. Okay, so I'll take this. See, this is a Java program over here on the screen. This is the Java program to swap two numbers. Okay, like I'm having two numbers over here, like a equals to 10 and b equals to 20. So what I want to write a program where I can swap the numbers. Like at the end of the execution, I should get a equals to 20 and b equals to 10. So for this, I have written a Java program. Clearly, you can see that over here I have mentioned all this thing like integer, which is the data type of it. That what is the data type of 10? And I've again mentioned the integer 20. I have printed it at the very first statement that okay, print what is the value of a, print what is the value of b. And then over here, I've started the logic that how to swap two numbers. Okay, I'll tell you this thing also that this is not the only way how you can swap two numbers. Of course, there are another ways also, but this is the way which a fresher will know that okay, this is how I can swap two numbers. So I'm referring to this. So you can have a variable over which you will have temp, and then you will assign whatever is a within temp, then whatever b within a, and whatever temp within b. Like this, it has swapped the number. At last, it has printed a and it has printed b to check that after the swapping operation, is it working as per our expectation or not. So I'll just save, I'll execute. I mean, I'll just compile and execute. I'll just show you that if it is working or not. What will be the possible output? So if there is no error like this, if there is no error, it will tell me press any key to continue. Now, I'll just execute it. Yeah, you can observe it clearly over here. What you're getting 10, 20, 20, 10. That means in the first, when you have printed A, you are getting 10, and you are printing B, you are getting 20. But after that swapping operation, when you are printing A and B, what you are getting? 20 and 10. That means, yeah, our operation has been successfully achieved. We have swapped the numbers successfully. Fine. Something in the same way you will achieve in the C programming language also, and somewhat same way. Fine. Now, what I'll do is I'll show you the same task with respect to Python. Now you observe how many lines I will take to achieve the same task and how much easier it is to achieve the same task. Fine. So over there, what you have taken? Two variables you have taken, a equals to 10 and b equals to 20, like that you have assigned it. Over here also, I'll take in the same way. I'll take a equals to 10. I'll take b equals to 20. Now, I should print a just to show you that what is a. At last, I should print b just to show you, okay, what is b in the initial stage. And after this, I should perform the swapping operation. Just pay your attention over here because this is just going to be one line. Within one line, I'll achieve the complete task. Observe it over here. Whatever I'm having with respect to B, I want to give it to A. Okay. And then whatever I'm having with respect to A, I want to assign it to B. Fine. This is it. You have assigned the value of B to A and you have assigned the value of A to B in one single step. Now if I'll print A, now if I'll just print A and if I'll print B, just observe it over here, you will get the same output what you are getting in your Java, that is 10, 20, 20, 10. I hope you can see my screen, and it is straightforward how you have swapped two numbers with respect to Python. Now you only tell me, what do you feel? Which is more easier, Java or Python? And I'm telling you that the story for C is also same. Like how you are doing it for Java, now the same story will be for C as well. You will be having at least 10 to 12 lines. You just see the syntax, how much easier it is to do with respect to Python if you tell me. One more thing, if anyone has observed properly, one more thing is highlighting about the Python programming language. What is that? In C or Java, you need to mention the data type. Like there, I have mentioned int a equals to 10, like this. But in Python, you don't need to mention. You don't need to mention the data type. You just need to mention the data and you assign it to some variable. That's it. So this is one of the property of Python. And what is this property called, if you ask me? This property only makes Python as dynamically typed programming language. What is this? Dynamically typed programming language. Then if you will ask me, then sir, if this is dynamically typed, what is this? Then Java and C, C++. Java and all are statically typed programming language where you need to mention the data type. But over here, with respect to Python, you should not mention the data type. Python will decide what will be the data type of your data, whatever you have provided, what should be the data type of it. Such a language is referred as dynamically typed programming language. That means in Python, you should not even have this headache of what I should mention as the data type. You should not take the headache of that. Python will take care of this. Fine. So you can, that's what I'm telling you. Python, if you will see with respect to any programming language like C, C++, Java, all the top programming languages, Python is way more easier with, in comparison of all the other programming languages. And that's what I told you, that it is easier. That is, it's one of the benefit. It is having huge application, which is in current demand and which is having a future scope, that is machine learning, data science, web application development, artificial intelligence. It is having a huge application as well. So this is about the comparison, which I was talking in this earlier demo part. I mean, in the history part, when I was telling you that once I will show you the comparison, definitely you will be attracted towards Python in comparison of all other programming languages. And I hope you will agree to me that the syntax of this programming language is way more easier in comparison of all. Fine. Now, if you agree to this much, that okay, sir, whatever you have shown me till now, that okay, this is having so and so demand, this is having so and so scope, this is having this is the history of it, and this is in comparison of other programming language, this is way more easier. Now what? Now what is? I will tell you that how to install Python. Okay. Now, if you are a student of Java, okay, if you are a Java student, you know, installing Java itself, installing this Eclipse or the editor of Java itself is a headache. Okay, you have to make so many changes over there. But I'll show you how much simple it is to install an editor or IDE for Python. Like this IDE, which its name is IDLE, its name is, so which software which I'm using right now. I teach you that how to install it. It is very straightforward. What do you need to do? Just go to this Google, search over there, download Python. Search over there, download Python, like this. Fine. You will always get the very first suggestion as python.org. This will be the website which will be on the top of the search result. Fine. Just click on this. Okay, I just clicked on it. The page will be open and straightforward. It will ask you over here only, download Python. Once you will click on it, it will start downloading. Fine. And I'm already having this download. I mean the 3.9 version, which is the latest version of this Python IDLE. So once the download is completed, if I will open, it will show that if I am having already the version. What you need to do is, once you will be downloading and completely see, just because I'm having the complete setup already in my system, it is asking me to modify, repair, or install. But in your case, if you have not downloaded it till now, it will ask you over here next, 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 and just finish. So just click on next, next, next over here, and then finish. Hardly 3-4 steps, fine, and it will be downloaded in your system. Now, once if it got downloaded in your system, once it got installed in your system, now how to make use of it? How to make use of it? I've shown you. Just open this, go to the search bar and just type IDLE. Fine. Here is the latest version, Python 3.9. I'll just open it. If I'll just open it, see, whenever I will open IDLE, it will be in the shell window will be opened. Fine. Whenever I will open IDLE, the shell window will be opened like this. Now you can see it is clearly displaying the message Python 3.9.0 and it is mentioning shell. This is the shell window. So whenever you will open IDLE, you will have shell window. What is the use of shell window if you ask me? See, in IDLE, Python programming language is going to execute in two modes. What are the two modes if you ask me? One of the mode is interactive mode. This is one of the mode, interactive mode, fine. What is this interactive mode if you ask me? Interactive mode, which is this shell window is representing the interactive mode. You don't need to save the program also. Okay, like other programming languages, what you need to do, you first need to write the program, then save it, then only you can execute it. In shell window, which is an interactive mode, you don't even need to save the program. If I'll simply say print hello world over here, if I'll simply say like this, print hello world, fine. And if I'll just press enter, it will just give me the output straightforward, line by line. It will be just executing it, fine. So this is the interactive mode. Basically, we will not use this shell window in our course. I have just shown you that how it is going to make use of. Basically, we are going to make use of the script mode. How to get into the script mode? Just press Control N or just create a new file. Now I've created a new file. This is the script mode. If you ask me, sir, what is this script mode which you are talking about? The script mode is very straightforward. The script mode represents that whatever Python file you are having, first you need to save that file, and that file will be considered as a script, and then you need to execute it. That's how it is named as script mode. Fine. You got the point that if you will install Python, you are having both the options. You can execute in interactive mode as well as you can execute in script mode. So what is interactive mode? I have already told you. What is script mode? That's what I'm going to tell you. Okay. So in script mode, like this, the program which I have shown you earlier also, a simple message, print, I'll print hello world like this. Now, whenever you want to print any message, if that is just a message, you should always keep it within the quotes. Like this is a quote. In English, you are having apostrophes like this. Fine. In programming language, we refer it as quotes, single quotes or double quotes. Like this one is single quotes. This one over here is a single quote. And whenever you will open a quote, you should close it also. Where you should close? You should close it after the point. You don't need to add anything more. You should close it after that. Like till hello world, I want to print it. So I should close it over here itself. Fine. Now I know if people are from Java background, they might be having this doubt that, sir, this is single quote and you are giving multiple characters. Is it going to be accepted? I will tell you this is going to be accepted by Python. I'll show you. If I'll save, if I'll execute, first I need to give a name. I'll give a name as Python 2. Give it any name, okay? Save it, and for executing, press F5. Got the message, hello world, fine. So this is about Python, that how to install it and how the different modes are available, which mode you can make use of. Now, what you need to understand is that this is not required that you should execute it with IDLE only. If I want, I can execute my Python program with a simple editor as well, like this. Notepad is available with all of you. Okay. I can execute Python over here also because Python has been installed in my system now. So even if I want, I can execute Python programs by using Notepad. Okay. I'll just show you a simple program. Again, I think The same message will be even boring. So I'll tell like, hi, I am Rishi. Fine. Now if I want to execute this message using Python programming language, first of all, I should give it within print, within a quotes. I have given it. Now you need to save this. I'll press Control S. Now give the file name. I'll give anything like Python 3. Let's suppose I'm giving the file name as Python 3. Now, what you should understand over here that if you are using a editor, if you are using an editor and it is not some IDE means that that is a development environment, okay, which is specific to some programming languages, which is having the option also like if you want to execute Python, Java, C, C++ like that. So IDE is always environment specific, but editor means this is not environment specific. You should specify that the file which you are saving over here, what is this file is going to contain, what is this file is containing actually. So how to tell it? I should give the extension. Like if you will simply write something to Notepad and if you will save that, it will have the extension as txt like this. It will have the extension as txt. But I am telling this that this file is a Python file. So how to inform this to operating system that this file is Python file? You should give the extension as .py. This is the extension to tell the operating system that this Python file is represented over here. Fine. And just I need to press enter. So this is it. This is the extension .py. This you need to specify only when you are making use of some other editor which is not Python specific. Then you should mention it explicitly. That extension you should give .py after giving the file name. Okay, so I have just saved it and I've went on that. Okay, this is the Python file. Now, if you ask me how to execute, of course, directly you cannot execute it to Notepad. For this, I should open my command prompt. I'll just type CMD in my search engine. I'll get the command prompt. Now, over here, I'm having this in the command prompt. First, I will check where I have exactly saved this file. So where exactly I have saved this file? I've saved this file, I think within this. I'll do one thing. I'll save it even at a better location for better understanding. I'll just tell it like this, save as. And I will save this file somewhere in, can I save it in E drive? Yeah, of course I can save it in E drive. Let's suppose in Python programs. Okay, I'll save it somewhere here in Python programs and I'll give the name as python3.py. I'm saving it within E drive. There is a folder name as Python programs. Fine. I'll save it over here. Now when I've saved the program, I should execute it. When you will open command prompt, you will observe that some message will be displayed like this. That means the control is present within some drive. Within some drive, there is some folder. Control is present within that. Like in my system, by default, the control is present within the C drive. Within the C drive, I might be having some users folder, and within the users folder, I'm having another folder called as user. So control is right now present in that folder. What I need to do, I need to take the control from that C drive. I need to bring it to the E drive, because within the E drive, there is a folder which name is Python program. There I have saved my file Python file. So how to just go to that? I'll just write E colon and I'll press enter. Now can you observe it over here? Control came within the E drive. Now what I need to do, I need to change the directory. Okay, what is directory? Directory is nothing but the folder itself is referred over here as a directory. So I need to change the directory to, which is the folder which is having my Python file. The folder name is Python programs. Fine. I'll press enter. Now finally the control is within the E drive, within the Python programs, where my Python file is saved. Now to execute Python file, what I need to do is I need to invoke the Python. I need to invoke the Python virtual machine PVM. How to invoke? If you ask me, just type the command, and the command is the name of the programming language itself. That is, if you will just type Python, PVM will be invoked, because PVM will execute that Python file. And then how it will come to know that which Python file you want to execute? You should just mention the name of the file. What is the name of our file? What is the name of our file? It's Python 3. So I'll just type Python 3.py. Fine. If I write this much, if I'll press enter, see, you're getting the message. Hi, I'm Rishi. That's what. You can execute Python program even by using the simple notepad editor also. But of course, for this, you should having Python in your system. That means you should install first Python. Packages should be there. How I've installed Python now from this website. First, you need to install over here. Then you can type in your notepad and you can just try to execute. 100% it is going to work. This is one way which I've shown you when you want to execute with respect to editors. Because see, in some interviews, if you will sit, they won't provide you a proper IDLE, Sublime, PyCharm. Even they don't provide you any development, integrated development environment, which will be Python specific. No, they may provide you some simple editor where you won't come to know that, okay, what is this time? What should be the indentation and all. Fine. Now, when you have seen that, okay, how to install Python, then how to just execute it with respect to Notepad. I hope it's not difficult at all. Okay, yet if you feel like difficult, I think this video will be uploaded. This video will be uploaded completely on YouTube. So again, you can refer the video and you can get to know that, okay, how I'll just execute it. Fine. Okay. So now we have just seen that, okay, how can I execute with respect to IDLE or with respect to any other editor. I will finally tell you the simple thing of Python. What is that? That basically, see, if you ask me what are the features of Python at the very top, one of the feature of Python is object specific. I mean, Python is an object oriented programming language. It follows the concept of OOPS, as well as Python is dynamically typed programming language. I'll tell you, Python is even dynamically typed programming language. So we know that Python is object oriented. We also know that, okay, Python is something like called as a dynamically typed programming language. Then Python, what is the other feature of Python if you ask me? Python is also interpreted programming language. Okay, what I'll do is I'll select the pen over here. So what I was telling over here is, what are the features of Python if you ask me? What are the features of Python? Features are very straightforward. The very first feature of Python is, it is object oriented programming language. That means it follows the concepts of OOPS. What is the second feature if you ask me? The second feature is, it is a dynamically typed programming language. It is dynamically typed programming language. Okay. What is the third feature if you ask me? Third feature is, Python is interpreted programming language. Python is interpreted programming language. Fine. So these are the main highlights of Python. If anyone is asking you what are the features of Python, you can mention all these three. And of course, the very important one with respect to you is, it is easier to learn. Python is easier to learn with comparison of all the other programming languages. Now, I will explain you. I think I have explained this first term, dynamically typed. What is dynamically typed? I'll explain you what is OOPS. But first, what I'll do, I'll explain you what is interpreted programming languages. I'll clean this all. Okay, so I hope nobody is going to compare, sir, what you are doing over here. You are writing with something. How can I do this with my Python? See, this is not related to Python. For this, I'm having some extra hardware tools with me and some software tools using which I am writing on the screen. Okay, so you should not relate that this is also included in Python. This is not included in Python. Fine. Now, I'll explain you what is interpreted programming language. As I have promised that I will start from the scratch, and I will think that I will take this assumption that you know nothing about programming language. So it's my duty to tell you that how a programming language works. Okay. See, whatever program you type, basically that program uses to be in high level language. That program uses to be in high level language. Fine. And our computer don't understand high level language. Basically, processor is there which is executing all this commands whichever you are given. So Processor is not going to understand any of your program which is in high level language directly. Why? Because if you ask me, processor will understand only machine level language. And straightforward, if I have to tell you, you feel like whatever program you have written using Java, C, C++, or Python, whatever you have written, you may think that, sir, I am writing in a Python programming language or a language only, na, computer oriented language. So the processor should understand it directly. No, that is not the case. Your language is high level language, which is referred as high level language. What we speak is natural language. Okay. What human speak is natural language. That is not exactly considered within the high level language. And the program which you used to type, which is in some high level language, is not going to be get executed directly by the processor, because processor understand only machine level language. If you ask me what is machine level language, then sir, machine level language means only binaries like zeros and ones. Only zeros and ones it is going to understand. Now, it is obvious that if my program is whatever I'm going to write will be in high level and processor will only understand machine level, it is obvious that there should be some conversion in between. There should be some conversion in between. That conversion is only achieved by some softwares. Okay, for converting from high level to machine level, we used to have some softwares. One of the software is interpreter. If you will use interpreter, you will have this task achieved for you. That means once you will write the program, it will be given not by you, it will be given by the OS itself. It will be given by the OS to the interpreter, and interpreter will convert it into machine level language, and then it will be passed to the processor, and once processor understands it, you will have the output on your output console. Fine, you will have the output on your output console. Now I want to tell you, this is straightforward. You consider this program as a code, okay, but basically if I ask you what is a program, what should be your answer? If someone is asking you what is a program, you should tell it straightforward that, see, processor understands or computer understands only instructions. Okay, so a set of instructions is what we used to define within a program. So a program is only a set of instructions. So what is the instruction? If you ask me, instruction is nothing else but just giving a command. What you want your computer to do, that's what is your command, and you are giving it through an instruction. And when you write multiple instructions, that means within a program, this is only what program is going to be called as. Fine. I hope you understand it completely, that your computer, okay, your computer, which I'm referring as a processor or CPU, I can refer it as, your computer is not going to achieve any task automatically. No, not automatically. That means not by its own. You feel like, no, sir, whenever I press a power button, it uses to install all the softwares again and again, and it used to completely open the window and it used to start fresh. See, it is designed in such a way that whenever you will switch it on, whenever you will hit the power button, the instruction will be given to the processor or the CPU, so that every software should be loaded and it should start working. Okay, there is nothing called as computer is doing anything by its own. Now, for everything, written, already defined programs or instructions are there. Fine. So that's what I'm telling you. Set of instructions we refer as high level language, which is in the form of a program, and processor understands only machine level language, which is zeros and ones. So we used to have some software in between to convert it from high level to machine level. So this is just a software which is converting it from high level to machine level. This is just a software. So it is converting it, and then your processor is understanding the command, and based on your instruction, it is just giving you the output. Fine. So Python is referred as interpreted language because it is using the software called as interpreter. Straightforward. Is it fine, guys? Okay. So I have explained you two of the features of Python, that how Python is called dynamically typed programming language. I've also explained you the feature that why Python is called as interpreted programming language. Now what you should understand is what is the concept of OOPS. Okay, how Python is following the concept of OOPS. So I told you OOPS stand for object oriented programming earlier. Okay, object oriented procedures only. So what is this object oriented way? If you ask me, see, in general, whatever data you are having, what do you consider? What is the data? If I ask you, what do you think? What is the data? Don't you think that data is nothing else but information only? That's what is data. Data is having some information. Data means some information. Now, information could be of anything. Information could be a image. I mean, it could be an image. It could be a video. It could be audio, or it could be some textual script. Fine. Don't you agree with this? So when you can have data in all such formats, out of these four, three will be handled with some Python libraries. So this is not the general concern over here. Which is the general concern over here when we are learning programming language? Text. That whatever textual data I'm having, using which I want to write a program, how to do that? So first of all, you should understand that there are textual data which we are going to deal with while learning this course. So what are the textual data, if you ask me? You only think and tell me what are the textual data. I think the numbers like integers, if I'll say from 0 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Okay. As well as from negative numbers as well, like -1, if I'll say -1, or if I'll say -2 and all. Everything will be considered as textual data. So these are the numerical data which is in the form of integers. So in Python, whatever data you are having in Python, that data is going to have two parts. In Python, if whatever data you are having, let's suppose if I'm having some data. So data means only that it is an object. Whatever data you are having, that is going to be considered as an object in Python. Fine. Now data could be of any textual type, like one of the type we have discussed, that is numerical integers type. Fine. You need to understand that whatever data you are having in Python is going to be considered as an object, and there is a concept in Python that every object will have two parts. One of the part will be has part, and the another part will be does part. Now you ask me that, sir, what is this has part, does part, and all? I'll tell you what is this has part and does part. See, what is a has part? For a moment, just don't think about all the programming languages or programming world and all. For a moment, you think any object which is existing in a real world, will always have two entities or two features. What is that? Every object will have some property. Okay. And another one is every object will have some functions. That means every object has some property. I'll write it like this. Every object has some property. And every object is going to do some function. We may or we may not know what is the function of that object or what is the property of that object, but that is a scientific fact that every object will have some property and it will have some function. It is doing some function in the environment. Now, why I'm telling you so with respect to Python? Is, see, if I'll take a general example of any object, like suppose, okay, I'll consider that if I'm taking an object dog, okay, dog is also an object, living object, but dog is also an object only now. So dog object, what is this? Dog object is also going to have some property. Dog object is also going to do some functions. So what are the properties? What are the functions? Dog is having some color. Don't you agree? Dog is having some color. That is its property. It's having some breed. That is also its property. That is, breed is just a type. That which type of street dog or some Pomeranian or any of the type. Okay, Dalmatian or the German Shepherd. Any of the type. Okay, so that is the property of it. Now dog obviously is going to do some function. What could be the possible function? It can bark, or it can sleep, it can eat, it can run, it can walk. I mean, these all are the functions of the dog. Fine. Similar to this, you need to understand that in in Python also, whatever data you will have, whatever data you are going to have, whatever data you will have, that data is going to be considered as object. Okay. And every object will have property and it will do some function. What does the property means with respect to Python? Property means the data type of it. What does the property mean? What is the data type of the object? And then what is this? Functions. That every object will perform some functions, or you can say methods. So first I will start with this has part, that is the data type. I'll start with the data type. That what are the data types available in Python? Fine. And then once we will be done with the data types, we will start functions. We'll try to understand what are the functions in Python, what are the methods in Python. Fine. Okay. Now, as I told you that in Python, if you want to have the textual data, or in the real world also, if you are having some textual data, it can have some integers in the form of integers, like from negative infinity to positive infinity. It will be having some from negative infinity to positive infinity. These are the integers, which is one of the data type in Python, and it is represented over here as int. Okay, these are called as integers. Okay, and it is represented over here as int in Python. Fine. What is the other data type, if you ask me? If you are having any decimal number like this 5.5 or anything like 0.66 or 0.0085, whatever you are having in decimal point, these numbers are going to be called as floating point number. Okay, so in Python they will be represented as float. Fine. In Python they will be represented as float. Now these two covers almost all the numerical data, but still one of the part is left. What is that part, if you ask me? What about the complex numbers? I think you might have seen something like this in your school days. 3 plus 4i. What do you call it as? You call it as complex number, where you are having some real part and then you are having some imaginary part. Why this is called as imaginary part? Why? Because this I is having a value which doesn't exist in Python, which doesn't exist in math. What is this? I is having the value. I is having the value as under root of -1. So under root of -1 is not defined in Python. It is not defined in mathematics. So that is why it is going to be considered as an imaginary thing, an imaginary number. So this is what imaginary part is going to be represented as. See, if you don't understand complex, it is not going to be bothering you so much. It is just to understand that this is also one of the data type. Okay, this is not going to be used so much frequently. But over here in Python, you should understand that it is not represented as I, whereas it is represented as J in Python. So just I'm telling you the data type. Okay, you don't need not to worry that what is this complex and all. You won't be using it very frequently. That will be very rare, very rare. But you need to understand that, okay, there is something called as complex also which exists in Python. And again, if you don't really know this, just after the session, you can refer to your school maths notes, or you can refer to Google search and you can get to know what is complex number. Fine. So these are the data types which will be covering all the numerical data. Fine. Now, what are the non-numerical data I am having? Let's suppose if I'm having any name, like Rishi. If this is a name in Python, you should keep in mind that this should always be within single quotes, or this should be within double quotes. Like if Python is also one of the names, so if I'll write Python. So either I should keep it in single quotes or I should keep it in double quotes. So these are non-numerical data. Fine. Even if you write something like this, like what I have written earlier, like hey everyone. If I'll write something like this, hey everyone. This is having a white space as well. This is having a 0 as well, which is a numerical. But this is alphanumeric. Okay, this is only considered as alphanumeric. That means if it is represented within quotes, that means straightforward. This is going to be considered as strings in Python. This is going to be considered as strings in Python. So it is represented as str in Python. Fine. What is the last data type if you ask me? The last data type is something called as yes or no data type. What is this yes or no data type? I'll tell you what is this yes or no data type. If I ask you 5 is, if I'm going to type it like this, 5 is greater than 4. Fine. What could be your answer? There will be only two options. 5 is greater than 4. That means either you will say yes, 5 is greater than 4, or you will say no. That means either you will answer it as yes or no. You need to understand that Python don't say yes or no, and rather than that, what it used to say true or false. Fine. So what is this true or false? This comes under the last data type, which is Boolean. And it is represented as bool. So these 5 are the basic data types in Python. These 5 are the basic data type in Python. So you should keep in mind that, okay, these are the basic data types in Python. Now, if there is a concept of basic data types, then of course there should be some advanced concept also. And yes, that is a fact. We also have a concept of advanced data types in Python. Advanced data types in Python. So what are the advanced data types if you ask me? Very first advanced data type is list. Sorry. Then tuple, set, and dictionary. Fine. So these are the data types which exist in Python, basic data types and advanced data types, because these are the data types majorly we are going to deal with. So you should understand this fact. Now, once I've just listed this. I'll show you that what is this data type, how we are going to make use of it and all. I'll show you. I've just listed all the data types, and I hope you have at least got an idea. Okay, this is an idea about, okay, these are the basic data types. Numbers like integers and all, they will be called as int. Numbers which will be having decimal numbers or floating point numbers will be called as float. Numbers which will be having complex numbers will be referred as complex. Or this whatever characters, whether they are numericals, whether they are alphabet, or whether they are special character like dollar or anything, @ whatever characters are going to be present within single or double quotes, those characters will be referred as strings. And last not the least, that Boolean, that means true or false. Fine. Okay. So now we'll begin with the basic data types first. I'll show you how we are going to make use of it. Then we'll move towards the advanced data types. Fine. One by one, we'll start. Now, if I'm having some value, or if I'm having some data, let's suppose I'm having 10. Okay. This 10 is what? 10 is one data. And I clearly told you if 10 is one data in Python, data is always going to be considered as an object. So if you want to make use of this object, for this, what you can do, you can have a name of it. What I've done, I have written that 10, I have assigned it to A. I know, like if you are not from programming world, or even if you are from programming world, what you will do, you will read it from left hand side to right hand side. That means from LHS to RHS you will read. That means what you will read it like A equals to 10. But let me tell you straightforward, being a Python programmer, you should never read a single equals to operation like this. You should always read it like 10 has been assigned to A. That means from RHS to LHS you should read, because that's how it is working. It is not working from LHS to RHS, it's working from RHS to LHS. You got the point? Now, what is this A? I told you that just to make use of this object, you are given a name. Okay, I'll give you a real-time example. See, I'm also one object only now. I'm a living object, but an object itself. So I'm having a name. My name is Rishi. You can call me Rishi or you can call me Sir and you can access me. Similar to this, if you want to use of this object, you can just do what? You can make use of a variable. You can assign it to a variable. That is just, I'm giving a name to it. Fine. Now, what is a variable if you ask me? See, variable is just a name which I have given to the object, and variable is kind of identifier. So what is identifier? What is that identifier I'm telling you? See, what is the concept of identifiers in Python? You should understand this. Identifiers mean what? Identifiers means whatever name you are going to give to your variable or to your function or class. Okay, your function name or the class name, whatever variable or whatever name you will assign. Okay, whatever name you will assign to your variable, to your function, to your class, they will be referred as identifiers. Fine. And just because I'm having these separate type of entities like variable, like function name, like class, there is some set of rule also which is defined for naming them. What is that rule? See, you can use the concept of identifiers to name anything, but the specific rule is you should only make use of limited characters. What are the limited characters which are acceptable? From small a to small z, you can make use of all these characters. Not only that, you can also make use of the characters like from capital A to capital Z. And you can also make use of the characters from 0 to 9. Fine. And you can also make use of this character which is underscore. All these characters are acceptable if you are giving an identifier. It means if you are giving a name to a function, to a variable, or to a class, or to anything, fine. All these characters are acceptable while defining the name. Now, I'll tell you, if you didn't got the picture, I'll tell you. Now, if I am telling you that 10, I have assigned it to A is a variable, which is an identifier itself. If you want, you can name it anything. I can name it ABC also. This is also allowed. If you want, you can name it like capital ABC also. Capital A, small b, and small c. This is also allowed. In between, you can have this underscore and then you can have this. This is also allowed. Okay. Now, what you should understand is all these characters are allowed. You can give a number as well. But one exception or one limitation is there when you are using the digits. What is that limitation? Limitation is you should never start the name with digit. You can never name it as 1A, 2A or anything, or 0A or 9A. No, you can never start with digit. You can start with all the alphabets from uppercase or lowercase. That means the capital A to capital Z or small a to small z. You can start with that, but you should never start with digits. You can have digits, but later. First, you should use some alphabets in uppercase or lowercase, or if you want, you can use a underscore as well. Then you can have some alphabets or anything, and then you can have digits, no problem. But you should not never start the identifier with digits. It should never happen because that won't be acceptable at all. I hope it's fine. Fine. So now I'm telling you when I'm giving it as a equals to 10. Now, when I know that I'm having this a equals to 10. So what is this 10 and how it is going to work is, as the moment you told 10 has been assigned to a, this 10 I told you this is one object. Object means this will be stored in my memory. This will be stored in my memory at some memory location because this is some information you are giving now. Definitely it should be stored, or else how I'll retrieve this? What the point? So it will be stored within my memory and later on also I can retrieve it. Fine. So now once it got stored in your memory, if you want to show this on your output screen or on your output console, how you will show? So just to give the output on the output console or the output screen, the function we should make use of is print function. Within the print function, you tell a equals to 10. Fine. I mean, just you pass this a. Now if I'll save and execute it, you just watch. Are you getting 10? Okay, some of you might be confused, sir, why it is still hello world, then 10. I have not closed the previous output. That's why it is showing you. So, sir, how I'll come to know which is the latest output? How you'll come to know? Whenever you see in the very last restart. Okay, whenever you see the very last restart, you understand that after that, whatever is there displaying, that is only your latest output. That is only what you have got as an output. But if it is confusing for you, for time being, I'll close this. Okay, for time being, I'll close this. I'll open this program again. I pressed Control S to save the program. Then I pressed F5 to execute it. I've just pressed F5 to execute it. I got 10, as clear as that. Fine. Now, this is the simplest way how I can get the output on my output screen. Now, what if I want to check that what is the type of it? I mean, what is the data type of it? How to check? To check this, you are having one function in Python and its name is type function. To this type function, you pass a. That means as an input, you pass a within the type function. Now, if I'll save and execute, just observe. Please observe on the screen what you are going to get. What you are getting? Still, you are getting only 10. Still, it is not displaying the data type. Why? If you ask me, the answer should be with you only. Why? Because I have not at all printed this. Got the point? So if you want to display anything on the output screen, you should always keep it within the print function. So just I'm getting the data type of it, but it is not displaying on the output screen because you have not told to print it on the output screen. Whenever you will tell it to print on the output screen, then only you will get it on the output console, or else you won't get the output. Straightforward. Fine. So what I'll do, I'll save this much and I'll execute. How to save? Control S, you can save, F5, you can execute. So now you can observe, I am getting this. This A is 10 and it belongs to a class called as int. Okay. Why it is displaying that class int, if you ask me? See, if anything is an object in programming, then it should always belong to some class. Got the point? If anything is an object in programming, definitely it should belong to some class. For time being, you just keep this much in your mind. Once we will start with the advanced concepts of OOPS, we will discuss over there that why one object needs a class. Fine. Okay. Time being, you have seen, okay, how to check the data type. I just make use of type function, I can see. So this was integer. Okay, let me change this value. Let's suppose if I'll give 0.00654. If I'll print this, I should get the same because that's what I've given a name to this object now. I've given the name A. If I'm calling it by A and if I'm printing it, should give me the same. This statement should give me the same. And when I should check the type of it, then the type of A should be float. I'll save, Control S, F5. Sorry. Okay, now can you see? I'm getting it as per expectation. Okay, what else I'm having? I'm having this also. Complex. So what I'll do, first I'll write as you have learned complex, like 3 plus 4i. Just observe it. Okay, carefully observe it over here. If I'll save and execute this much, if I attempt to do so, if I'll to happen next. As the moment I'll click F5, what it is displaying? Syntax error. This is the message you have to read. What is this window telling? Which is this window? This window is telling that this is a syntax error, and you will get this window every now and often whenever you will just not follow the rules of Python. What is syntax error? What is invalid syntax? If you ask me, what is syntax? First of all, you should understand what is syntax. See, basically in simple words, if I have to explain, every programming language has been defined in such a way that there are some set of rules how you should write it, and then there are certain set of rules. If you don't follow them, that means you are just harnessing the rules. You are just misplacing or misusing the rules. So you will get syntax error. That means you are not following the rules. That means you are not following the syntax. So which is not acceptable by Python. So now I'm telling you this I is not acceptable. That's why you are getting this syntax error. What I should give? I should give J. Now this time you observe. If I'll save and if I'll execute, this is acceptable, and it's clearly showing you as well that this is 3 plus 4J. You are getting as it is, and its type is complex. Fine. This is straightforward. Okay. So all this numerical data are over. Now I should look for the advanced data types like this. So let's suppose I'll give anything. I'll give it my, okay, let's suppose if I'm having an email address like this, rishi@gmail.com, like this. I told you clearly, whichever characters are present, whether that is having only alphabets, whether that is having numericals as well, whether having special characters, if all these are put within the single quotes or the double quotes, they are going to be considered as strings. Fine. If I'll just write this much, if I'll save and execute, you just watch it. You'll get it as it is, and the data type of it will be string. And I've clearly told you the data type of string in Python will be referred as str. Fine. So this is how you're getting the object. Fine. Next, which is the last one, which is the last basic data type, which I've discussed with you. The last basic data type which I've discussed with you is complex. I mean the Boolean. What is the Boolean? If I write true, okay, I write it like this. Just observe it over here how I've made the changes. If I'll save, if I'll execute, what is this doing? It is accepting it. It is displaying the message true, and it's telling you that it also belongs to a class bool. That means this is the data type of this is bool. Fine. Now, if you have noticed one thing, you should understand that this ideally, which I am using right now, this is showing some colors to you, like this is in purple color. If I'm not wrong, it is displaying some purple color on your screen as well. This true, which I have written over there, this is displayed on some orange color. Similar to this, when I was writing strings, it was displayed in some green color. Fine. So what is this? This is only referred as color coding. Why this is color coding? Color coding is just for your help. That means to tell you that this particular color refers that this belongs to this particular type. What I mean, whenever you see purple color, na, you need to understand that this particular is a name of built-in function. It means print. Print is a built-in function. Type. Type is also a built-in function in Python. Now, you may ask, sir, what is built-in function? I'll just tell you in short. And again, when we'll start functions, I'll cover it over here. Built-in functions are the functions which have been defined in Python. That means there are some functions which have already defined in Python. You just call it by its name and you can make use of it. So I'm just calling it by its name and I'm just making use of it. So print function is used to print anything on the output console. Similar to this, type function is just to have the data type of any object. Fine. So these are the purple color objects are just the built-in functions. What about the orange color, sir? Orange color means these are the keywords or the reserved words. Now you may ask me the question, sir, what is a keyword or what is the reserved word means in Python? See, there are some words and their meanings have been already defined within Python. Okay, like this true, which when I'm writing, its meaning is already defined in Python. So it is displaying in like true. There will be some word as false. Even false meaning is already defined in Python. So you are having the false also in orange color. So the words which are having some special meaning in the programming language is referred as keywords or reserve words. Fine. So there are list of keywords and reserve words. One by one, we'll see what are the keywords and reserve words. Now, fine. Okay. So this is the next type of data types. So I have covered all the basic data types in today's class, guys. And I think this much will be more than sufficient for everyone for the day one. And okay, this is how Python we are going to have. I've given you a complete idea why Python, what are the options you're going to get as Python, what is the course I've started from this. The very first thing, why Python was only the part of the course 0. Then what is the application of Pythons, and what are the job opportunities you're going to get as a Python developer. Even I have told you the history part of Python, and we have started the course 1 itself, like from the data types, object orientation and all. Fine. So I think this much will be enough for the day 1. Now your next session will be on next Sunday. Okay. And the class links will be sent to you, that whenever I'll come to online, the links will be shared with you before that, and it will be given to you within your WhatsApp group itself. And I really apologize for the today's, I know, like I was late around half an hour, or more than half an hour I was late. So I appreciate your patience, and I will try my best to start the class next time as per the time whichever will be defined for you. So the next class will be on Sunday, guys. Next Sunday, not the coming Sunday. Next Sunday will be the next class, and we will catch you over there. If you have any queries regarding today's session or regarding this Python, you can just mention in the comment section. In the next class, I mean, before the next class, all of your queries will be solved. Fine. So if you are having any doubts and all, just mention it within the comment section. Okay, guys. And before the next class, we are going to solve it. And I am clearly mentioning you, the next batch, I mean, the next class will not be on this coming Sunday, 25th. It will be on 31st of October. Fine. Even not on 31st of October, it will be on 1st November. Fine, guys. That is on the next Sunday, not the coming Sunday, next Sunday. So I hope the session was this session was useful for you guys. So okay, guys, thank you for your precious time. Okay, take care. Bye bye. I'm just going to end the session. Bye, guys.